We are live for another week of the Fireside Tales with Indigo. How's it going? That's me. Definitely excited to be back in action. It has been far too long since we have been doing this live Dungeons & Dragons thing. Obviously, as you can see, there has been a few changes. I recently signed up for a month of Envato, which is basically a designer's dreamland. I'm going to be able to start working on some really cool stuff coming up for the show overall. Trying to kind of turn this into a template of what's to come for Kronos World, and possibly being able to get some other shows starting to go on some other days here. Definitely going to be very exciting to begin exploring some of that for sure. Had some interesting opportunities a couple of years ago. Definitely want to send out some emails and see what's possible to start doing again there. So I did want to go over a couple of things. This is kind of a new announcements screen that I've created here to kind of talk about a few things before we dive into the game for the evening. Let's see. So one of the things I did want to go through is going to be a chance for sponsorship. I am going to have some banners and stuff going across the screen during the game, and also in the different the pause screen, the intro screen, the ending screen, and all that sort of thing, as well as on this announcements page. So definitely would be interested in talking to some people about sponsorship opportunities and working with Kronos World going into the future. I also would like to take a moment to have a special mention of some viewers that have really gone out of their way to help this stream kind of get off the ground. One of those would definitely be Witchy Lee, who is our most recent subscriber. Definitely appreciate all the help that Lee has had for the stream with her presence here, and definitely been watching from day one, and that's pretty awesome. And also wanted to thank, of course, Gibbs for also subbing to the channel. Those two are our subs at this time. Gibbs also definitely threw down a bunch of money on this channel, and I can't say thank you enough for that. Definitely helped us move in some pretty awesome directions, so thanks a lot to Gibbs for that. Definitely hurt you so much. As well as everyone else that kind of helps bring this thing together and supporting all of this, including the players, the people in our lives that allow us to have the time to do this and support us in this crazy project that we play here every week. You know who you are. Love you. So that brings us to the intro to the game. What we've been doing is going through the Tales of the Yawning Portal. And that's a series of adventures, excuse me, from the TSR guys. I should say Wizards of the Coast. I'm so used to saying TSR, my apologies. From the Wizards of the Coast guys. These are definitely some long-standing D&D adventures going back to, I think the earliest one was 1980, I think, or 78, somewhere in there. Definitely a long time running, and I think that's going to be the very last one, the Tomb of Horrors that we run through. We have gone through a couple of these so far. We've gone through the Sunless Citadel, and we've gone through the Forge of Fury. We've reached the Hidden Shrine of Tomoa-chan, and this is a Mesoamerican themed dungeon that these guys literally have fallen right into. And they did kind of fall down into the depths of Tomoa-chan here. And they've already come across a couple of interesting scenarios, little figurines that leap to life, and gigantic, sexually ambiguous crab-like creatures. It's been interesting, to say the least, already within the halls of Tomoa-chan. So we are going to be jumping back into this adventure here tonight. Please feel free to jump in with any questions about any of the rules, anything that you see in the campaign as we go along. We're definitely interested in helping everybody learn a little bit more about this Dungeons & Dragons thing. and understanding the rules a little bit better. And most of these guys are in chat, so feel free to interact with them there as well. So I am going to go ahead and get us right on over to this screen here, as the monkeys will tell you. What up, everybody? How's it going? You guys are live. So as you can see, well, Gok is there. He just has his nice face on tonight. We do sadly miss the presence of Brasnic. He was not feeling well today, so he will be back with us next week, most likely. Hope he's feeling better. Sometimes the things catch up with us. So let's go ahead and dive right into the Hidden Shrine of Tamamo-chan. And I apologize, this does take a few moments to load up. It is a large map. And while it is doing that, make sure I'm not giving away any secrets over here. Let's set the stage. So I did have some really amazing like music and sound effects all picked out for this right here. Just want you guys to know that this was going to go to a super epic level. But Roll20 is awesome. It's a great service. I appreciate all of the hard work that these guys put into this. But we might have something in store that might be so much cooler. We'll see. We'll see what happens here in the near future.
Hey, Indigo, I want to tell you something. Remember what I told you happened the last game where I was on a page that had a panther with on a checkered square with a star?
Mm-hmm.
That's where I loaded up again today.
Okay. So you're not in the spot where you should be? Like over here?
Nope, I seem to be in a different map. Oh, no, I can see myself now. But I can see a different part of your map, just so you know.
Interesting. Why are you checking out my map?
Maybe it's because it was a Jaguar and I just had a keen chip to it.
Oh. That actually probably is it. Interesting. You can only see the Jaguar though, right?
Yeah, it was like a little hallway with a Jaguar sitting on like a square that had a star in it.
Yeah. Well, you are one with the cats of this dungeon. Congratulations.
It's part of my litter.
He's one of your litter mates. I might make that a thing now. Just saying. Okay. So, but yeah, I wasn't able to load up all the sound effects I wanted to, so this could have been just a little bit cooler. But immersion. Let's get to the immersion part of this. So you guys, when last we left off here, you had just shoved this huge stone block out of the way and had entered into this chamber beyond. And once you got into this chamber, you immediately noticed these urn-like objects sitting to the east and the west of this alcove. For everybody watching, north is to... It should be to the left for you guys. This map isn't set. It's set to the side. So if you're looking up, that's going to be east. If you're looking down, that's west, north, south. We'll get that. We'll get that straightened. So, Just going to quickly find... So you do see that this foyer does hold the 3 sealed urns to the east and west sides. And you see that to the south is double bronze doors of bronze with glyphs worked into their faces. And it's all the way along the edges, and then you see glyphs wrought into the iron or into the bronze at several places along this door. And as you guys are kind of looking around, you see this dragon hunter that you had recently met in the group with you steps forward to take note of this door. And as he steps into this space, you hear this click, and you see one of the runes on the door. You immediately burst to life, and you see the light wash over his body, and you see his feet almost looks like the motes of his feet start to like fly up into the air, and you see like this bluish energy, almost like it's kind of creeping up and eating along his legs, and you see his body just like floating, held up by this energy, it seems. And you see his body like slowly starting to disintegrate into this magical energy, and you see him arch his back for a second, and he like brings himself back up, and he suddenly turns as this energy is coming up his midsection now, and he throws this spear into the wall, and it lands into the stone, digs into the stone with a loud chunk. And as this creeping energy is coming up towards his neck, he just looks at you through his helm, says, "Take it back to my order," as this energy washes over the rest of him. And you could tell that it seemed like he was in an immense amount of pain, but he was steeling himself against it in a last show strength, courage. And it doesn't seem like he's been destroyed by this energy, but almost more like taken somewhere by this magic.
So your friend is gone. Where did your friend go?
Was it only the people inside the room who saw that? Or could we see it from outside?
Ratul, Rafiki, and Brasnic saw this.
I do not know, but it seems we must be wary of magic traps from here on out.
I advise not to touch the door. I mean, the dwarf can touch the door, but I'm not.
I don't want to touch no door. Last time I touched a door, you saw this big old thing come springing out of there, cut me open on the inside. I ain't going anywhere near it. Brasnic impression? Anyone? Come on.
It was pretty spot on.
I got a That's good. I'll take that. So, do you guys want the resident thief character to check this thing out?
Yeah.
After seeing that, I'm sure Brasnic would want to make sure that it wasn't trapped any further.
And Rafiki's gonna take one step back.
Probably would use Mage Hand so that he wouldn't be in risk of triggering it, even if he did accidentally did. Even if he actually accidentally did trigger it, I don't think he'd want to be very close to it.
Okay. So. All right. You see Brasnic kind of step forward to here. And of course, he has to work around this giant slab of stone to get to this point. And as he kind of comes around it, he says, well, let's first see. You can. You see him kind of just reach over, and he goes back to the corner of the wall. He just reaches up and he touches the wall. And as he does so, he casts this light spell. And you see this illumination just wash over this bronze door. He says, "Do it." He turns around, and he starts just gazing at this door for a moment. Just kind of looking it over from a distance.
Natural roll 20!
Natural 20. And I did add a dice window to the overlay so everybody watching can see these magical rolls as they happen. Maybe if Brasnic has managed to drag himself to his computer screen, you will see how awesomely he started the evening tonight. Welcome back to the game, guys. Natural 20, first roll. No big deal. So, you see him just kind of standing there, just kind of studying this door for a second, and then suddenly his eyes snap up to the top, and he kind of turns his head and just kind of gets this quizzical look for a second. Oh, that's a booby trap right there. So, how to go about this? See him kind of studying this trap for a few moments more. And he just kind of nods. Says, "Well, looks like what we have here is some kind of a glass vial. Seems to be stuck up in there. Any attempt to force these doors is definitely going to crush the vial and release whatever's going on in there. The way this triggering operation mechanism looks here, I think as soon as I disable this thing, I'm going to need somebody to catch this thing quick-like. Anybody want to try?
Big Orc, you're fast.
Artul will step up to go ahead and be ready to catch the vial.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and preemptively say that Brasnic is going to use one of his inspirations on this. Yes. Is anyone uncomfortable with that?
I'm a little uncomfortable with that. Let me see if I can do something instead. I might be able to give him one of my portents. Nope. Oh no, yeah, I can give him a straight 16 on this. I think if this is a pretty big trap, I might as well.
Okay.
If you're willing to, I'll join them in the room. Yeah. And say, what's going on? Where did that useless dragon slayer go?
Well, he stepped over here, and one of these runes started glowing, and he just went and disappeared into something. Went somewhere. He left that, though. Turns around and points at the dragon spear sticking out of the wall.
Well, that looks valuable. It's nice of him to leave us something. At least we don't have to pay him anymore.
Brasnic just...
He wanted us to bring it to his people.
You want to bring him to his people?
The spear. He said to take it back to his order.
Oh, okay. I guess we could do that. Or
I'm gonna just strap it to my back like the other spear.
Okay.
Are you still trying to go through the door?
Oh, wait. Don't go too fast here. This thing's trapped up here, and you see him point up to the top, and as soon as he points to it, you see the glint of light off of glass. And it's up in between where the doors come together, and you can see that there's just the smallest little alcove in these doors, and within that is this glass sphere. And you can, if you want, you can roll a perception to try and take a closer look. Do you want to get closer to the door to do that? What are you shaking your head for? This is what DM screens are for, so I could go like this. You had to push to talk, sir. Push to talk at him.
I forgot. Can I get uncomfortably close to Ratul right there and get up next to him so I don't have to like get that close?
You're uncomfortably close to Ratul right now.
I'll make that check to see if I can see what he's talking about.
Okay.
Arturo just points up at the vial as he's not so certain how he feels about having the elven female so close.
Okay.
I don't see it.
Yeah, you do. You see the vial that's in there, but you don't see any extraordinary details about it.
Okay. Then I'm gonna step back as like, I trust your word, but I don't see any of this.
Okay. So you see him with he's dips into his one of his many pockets with the mage hand, and you see the adamantium lockpicks, thieves' tools come out of this pocket, and they float over, and you see him start to get to work, and then. And you're going to use your magic to help this process? Or should
Well, let me see something. I'm just see if there's any other magic I can use besides.
Nice. So he's going to get a +4 to either the roll or your portent, whichever you want to do.
What is that plus? Oh, from his
His dwarven mark. So if you gave him a 16, then that would upgrade it to a 20.
Right, but give me a second. Actually, it makes his roll a 16, so I can do it after he rolls. That's the other thing. Portent lets you replace the roll. So let me see if I can use digitation to help here, actually, because there might be something. No.
Right, because portent is a reaction to a roll you see. It's not one you can just say, "Oh, I'll go ahead and just auto-replace," because he might actually roll better.
Right. So So maybe he'll roll higher than a 16, and I won't use it. Or maybe he rolls like a 15 or a 14, and plus his proficiency and his tools.
He's good.
Or he could just roll a 30, and everything's fine.
Okay. Yeah.
I got a +11.
That is going to be one of his inspirations, and you see him just.
I didn't. I think it's a little unfair for him to use one of his inspirations.
Oh, would 24 be good enough?
Yeah, I mean it's.
24 is more than good enough.
Yeah.
All right, fine.
But 34 just sounds better.
It does.
34 is basically, it does a couple of fancy twirls before it falls into my hands.
Yeah, 24 is gonna more or less do the same as this. These adamantium lockpicks just seem to find their way into this ancient door with ease, and you hear this mighty as a series of large, heavy clicks, like heavy metallic, when then kind of echoing into stone, into the walls, as these huge metal locks are disengaged from within these doors. And as they crack open, you see this sphere of glass start to roll and fall out of its place. Go ahead and roll a dexterity check to catch it.
Straight dex?
Acrobatics.
Oh boy!
Okay. Well. Does anybody want to use inspiration or something?
I'll use an inspiration, one of my inspirations.
Okay. Go ahead and roll that again.
Oh my god! Why?
I'll use the portent. He just rolls a 16 plus his bonuses.
So 19 total.
Okay. So you see this thing falling out, and it's falling right towards you, and you catch it in your hand for a moment. It like hits your hand, and then suddenly like just tinks off of one of the little edges of the dragon flame cestus, and you see it just kind of hit your finger, so it kind of absorbs most of the impact, and then it just kind of tinks off of one of the edges, and it just starts rolling out of your hand, and you're like, oh, and then all of a sudden your hand just starts glowing, just reaches up and grabs it after the wayward bounce. And suddenly, as the glow fades away, you kind of pull your hand back around and you see this sphere of glass in your hands. Not super thick. It looks like it would have easily broken if it had made contact with the stone below. And within it, you see almost a greenish, dust-like smoke swirling within the sphere.
Slippery.
We should probably talk about it, not leave that out in the open, somewhere safe where it can't break.
You see Brasnic just reaches his hand out, palm up.
I hand it over.
He just quickly puts it in one of the pockets on his many pockets. He's got like 36 portable holes.
Alright, because he has both the handy harvester sack and he got the handy harvester suit too, doesn't he?
He's got the suit, he's got the haversack.
Yeah, I think he has enough extra space to put things in.
It's true.
Wait, before we move in, I've been thinking about this. Mara doesn't defend herself properly, and I want to make her a little more smart. She's gonna cast Mage Armor.
Okay. Perfect. So what does that make your armor class?
It makes my armor class 17.
Oh. That's healthy.
Yeah.
Okay. So... let's see. As this door, as you kind of catch this thing, and you hand it over to Brasnic, your attention is called back to these doors, and they'd only kind of triggered just a little bit, just enough for this sphere to fall from between where it was grasped in the crevice of this door. And Brasnic kind of looks around. Well, that part's done. Now what? Does anyone want to check out these urns at all? Or?
Yeah, I'll look at the urns.
Okay, go and roll well, you don't need to.
I think Brasnic would also check again to make sure there's no trap as we walk in. This thing has been trap after trap. I'd rather not fail on the last trap, you know?
Okay.
If Brasnic would have done that, Mara would have said, can you check for more traps? There seems to be a lot in this very confined area. Plus we know that there's something of magical power here. Or that's what the crab said.
Okay. So this whole process has taken probably about 10 minutes or so. So you guys know. You can see that these urns are sealed with beeswax. And it looks like they could be easily broken. This beeswax seal, if you wanted to check it out.
Sure, I'll open the first one.
Okay. So you kind of take a dagger chink away at this beeswax, break it off from around the seal. And as you kind of crack it open, kind of keeping your face back and away, as it opens, a kind of waft comes over you, and you smell oil.
It's oil, everybody.
And as you kind of take a little bit closer look into this thing, you can see that it's probably a good 20 flasks of oil within this container.
Anybody need some oil?
Might as well take it. Oil can be very helpful with my fire.
You see Brasnic kind of look around and says, "Do you think they're all the same?" He goes over to another one, takes out his dagger, cuts around at the beeswax, kind of pops the lid. Well, I'll be damned. They're all full of oil.
Well,
This
we have
time-
lots of oil now.
I keep forgetting we're back to push talk. Artul's going to take one of the oil urns and tie his rope around it and just fasten it to his belt.
See Jock kind of flopping and around. Yeah, so like, what's going on in here?
Oil.
That's it, just oil.
Oil? Like, are we rich or something? Like, what's going on over here?
Just prepping. I think I don't see any magical item in here. Doesn't appear that it's here. It must be beyond the door.
Well, then open it up then.
Yeah, I mean, just crack that thing open. What's the worst that could happen?
We all die, Gok and Jot. We have to be careful here. One of our party members just disappeared into thin air. I mean, it's to be expected. He was just a mercenary that we hired, and I didn't believe that he could take out a dragon by himself anyway. But still have to be careful.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like that was a little bit far-fetched and stuff, but I mean, yeah, some like really shiny armor's on.
Yeah.
I mean, we got Brasnic. Like, I'm pretty sure he could open the door. Pretty.
Yeah. So, who's gonna go first? Is
The dwarf.
I ain't going first into nothing.
Ugh.
So when the
Artul?
Artul just pushes the door open.
Okay. So, as you push this door open, you can see that behind the doors is a chamber cut out of the rock, with a veil of calcite and stalactites covering the walls. Buttresses rise from the corners, brown shot through with black, and triangular stone pillars support the high ceiling. Occupying the center of the chamber is a colossal monument, resembling a giant's table, covered on all sides with intricate carvings and glyphs. Just putting you guys in so you can see what I'm talking about. Opposite the entrance, a battle axe is embedded in the wall, 6 feet above the floor. And that, my friends, is when I get to show you this. And off of this axe, you can see that there is a dark shadow stretching across the wall, ending in a bloody hand.
That's probably the one we're looking for.
It could be something else,
Boss, do you gonna come in here?
Yeah.
You see Zigzag jump in, jumps on the Jaguar's back, and then does a graceful flip over Brasnic and lands in the corner.
Hey, could you guys move out of the way, though? I want to get a better look at it.
On this table, do I see writing?
You do. You
Don't touch
see
any-
that this monument is constructed from several parts. There's a great stone slab, 20 feet long by 10 feet wide, resting upon a 4 foot thick monolith of rock of similar dimensions, 20 foot long and 10 feet wide, sitting on top of another big section of rock equally as big. And this, in turn, is supported by 6 huge blocks of dolomite. You can see that every component has been covered with intricate carvings and glyphs. The top of the slab depicts a struggle between a dark-skinned man and a mighty, knotted serpent. Engraved alongside this illustration are glyphs identical to those found on the door, and under these sigils are etched a series of 4 face glyphs in a line. At the foot of the slab is a row of 11 of these symbols, all different in form.
Knife here. Come check out the writing.
Okay. I'm gonna try and investigate the writing and see if I know it. I know that the comprehend language does not allow me to read languages, just to understand and talk in them. So.
No, comprehend languages allows you to read a language you don't understand. It just takes a minute per square foot of language. At least a page worth of language if you're touching it.
You do have to be touching it.
1 second, I'm checking. I thought that you couldn't. For the duration, you understand the literal meaning of any spoken language you hear. You also understand any written language that you see, but you must touch the surface of which the words are written. It takes about a minute to read 1 full page of text.
Yep. So you can read any language as well, as long as you're touching and the spell is being active.
But the spell does not decode secret messages in text or a glyph, such as an arcane sigil.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Everything else, though, is fair game, and I doubt this is all just runic glyph.
I guess I'm gonna touch it. I think this is a bad idea, but actually, let me make a wisdom thing. I personally think this is a bad idea. But I wonder if Mara is just like, ooh, interesting.
Of course she is.
Oh shit.
She's interested.
Okay.
City's gonna get the best of her. She's gonna touch it.
Okay. You do find that this is a language, and as you kind of touch it, it doesn't make any more sense to you, but you suddenly see this little familiar of yours come floating over kind of lazily, and suddenly it like circles around you once, and then as it gets closer to this, you suddenly just hear 2 words as it gets very close to one of these carvings. And it sounds more like a warning. As it you realize that this little globe is able to make sense out of this language as it itself gets closer.
What is the warning? Just like warning something's wrong, or is it a specific warning?
Yeah, it was just it was like 2 words, but you know, it was like dire consequences or something like that. You know, just
So-
a piece of a warning. Are you gonna?
So like for mummies, where it's like don't disturb the resting dead.
Yeah, but it's just like a, you know, don't disturb, you know, something like that. Are you gonna direct it to kind of read more of this?
Just read it after saying we don't need, like, we have the magic item, right? Like, we don't have to loot this corpse, do we?
What do you want to suggest?
I'm gonna tell everyone it's there's a warning on here. I can't really understand all of it, but I don't think we should be messing with this. With this, seems to be some sort of grave, probably, or looks to me like a giant stone coffin.
Maybe, let's be real. When did that ever stop us before from, like, looting dead people,
It
right?
says warning.
Well, yeah, but I bet there's probably other, those dwarves probably have warnings about, don't loot my coffins. Blah blah.
Blah blah.
Can you read more?
I'll do my best, and I'll try and read more of it.
Okay. What's Rafiki doing?
Rafiki's watching these people mess with a tomb, and also eyeing that axe over there. You know, no curiosity,
Okay.
like a cat.
So as you are a cat man, and you're very much distracted by everything that's going on. You suddenly kind of come back to the conversation, being off in your cat space, and you come back to the conversation, and you realize that these guys are talking about these glyphs that are on this coffin, and you just kind of not even thinking about it. Just know what it says because you can read and speak Ancient Omen.
Oh, I'm just gonna start saying what the words are.
Okay. So
They're all trying really hard to decipher it, and I'm just like, oh.
So as you guys are studying this thing and trying to make head or tails of it, suddenly the cat man, after being lost in his cat space, comes over and just starts rattling off the words. You're push to talk, sir.
Oh, that's helpful. What is it?
I'm sorry, I was looking at the axe.
Yeah, we're all over here dying, and he's off just like, in Wonderlands. Okay.
You're all dying.
What does it say?
It says,
Oh, I should tell you that part. I'll be good at this jam thing one day, don't worry about it, guys. It says that this is the resting place of Tlokus Popolicus. He was a servant of the shadow-loving god, Xorakk. And you could read that these glyphs on the top of the slab give his name and the date that he died, which is 5439, and is written in these face glyphs. And around the tomb is a list of terrible actions, these terrible things that Tlokus Popolicus did while he was alive. The sacrifices, the hunting of children in the night. Terrible things that this creature did before it was entombed deep beneath this pyramid.
so basically this guy
Wait.
is not good.
Did you just say entombed? As in not died, just put into here?
I don't know, is that a thing?
With many scary things, sometimes you can't kill it and you have to trap it.
I mean, that's a lot of stone right there. I know, like, I was put inside something like that, I wouldn't be getting out of this. I mean, not like I would die, as I'd just kind of sit in there waiting for some dumbass to let me out.
That's kind of what I think this is.
Oh.
What you just described it made it sound like they didn't beat it. They didn't, like, kill it. They just were able to stop it.
Oh, it's just kind of stuck in there is what you're telling me right now?
It's just a hunch. It could just be a dead body in there.
Yeah, I mean, what if it said he died on there? It showed a date that he died on there. I mean, isn't that what he just said right there?
I did say that.
But you don't write entombed, and you don't write that you don't put this much effort into just protecting a dead body generally, unless especially if something that's so evil.
I mean, I think she's kind of got a point, Saz.
I mean, maybe the elves don't, but these people are not elves. And he was a bad guy.
Oh,
I mean,
getting a burned by tree guy. Ooh. Dang.
I mean, I think the Catman's kind of got a point, Saz, too, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still funny. But it's like, dang. Come on, it's like verbal jousting.
It's Rafiki, not tree guy, but it's okay.
Well,
Gok completely ignores all of Gok's comments.
sounds about right, you know? Know what he's talking about?
So the rest of you guys from the corner just hear this. But Mara, through your drift globe, you hear Zigzag kind of speak up from the corner. Says, this great evil here.
Zigzag thinks that there's something evil in here, and I mean, I'm gonna turn my gaze to the axe. That probably is evil. Didn't this seems to be the pair with the knife, which that knife was really evil.
So, I mean, what if like somebody grabbed the axe with like mage hand or something?
With mage hand, interesting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna touch that thing, and you're not gonna touch that thing. What if we touch it with the mage hand? You know, the axe does. Whatever.
Would I have an idea of how, like, magic interacts with other magic? How, like, that's something that's cursed interacts with, like, intention touching it?
Roll Arcana.
Low rolls tonight.
I would say that you know it's possible for a mage hand to pick up items. I mean, you know, up to a certain weight limit. Obviously, you can't use it as a weapon or anything like that. So, you know, there are limits to what a mage hand can do.
Do we want to get the axe? And if we do, where are we going to hold it? In the haversack?
Yeah, I mean, we just put like a sack, put it in a sack or something.
I mean, you can't. If I understand how it works, you can't pull anything out you don't know is in there. It'd be a pretty great hiding spot for it.
Yeah, perfect. We take this axe away from whoever wants. Yeah. And then, also, just to be clear, we're not opening the tomb, right?
I don't think it's a great idea, but
Okay. Right. Because of the whole evil. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever. Okay. I mean, you know?
I'm gonna call Brasnic. Is like, can you help me with this? I'm gonna use Mage Hand. Please be ready to get the axe inside the haversack. If you think it'll fit.
Okay. So you're casting this, or is Brasnic going to cast it?
I think I would cast it.
Okay.
Brasnic, I mean, he's not here, so we don't want to. Might as well do it.
Okay.
What's another curse? I cast Mage Hand, and I can carry up to
10 pounds.
10 pounds. I will attempt, as I am almost, it's 25 feet away. I'll pick it up with it and attempt to. I'll attempt to use the hand to pick up this axe.
Okay. It is buried into the wall. A stone wall.
Okay.
As the hand kind of goes over and grabs against the handle of this axe and starts to yank, it doesn't seem to be able to budge it from its place on the wall. You're not sure if it's because of the weight of the axe itself, or possibly a combination of the weight of the axe and being buried in the wall.
I have a question. And if you had 2 mage hands, can you double the weight? Or does that not how it works? Like if 2 people were casting mage hand.
I would say that would make sense, that you could carry 20 pounds of weight. That would be basically like 2 mages going at 2 handles of a trunk and lifting it up.
Okay, I'm gonna ask Brett, can you give me some assistance here? We need another hand.
Okay, so Brasnic does step over, and as he kind of steps up next to you, he also casts Mage Hand, and as the 2 magical hands of force kind of, grab around the handle of this thing, and they're, straining and pulling against the handle of this axe, but you can see that it is not moving. Oh, thanks to you, Gibbs. Already jumping on that cheering train. Just dropped 3,000 bits on us. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. There is a reward for that. There's a reward for that, Gibbs. Did I put it? Did I put it up there? I don't know if I added bits, but I did start looking at that, and 3,000 bits is a hell of a donation, and I can't appreciate you enough for that. So I don't know if that's like all the way wish level, but it's getting up there. So I'm pretty sure these guys are going to have more dice and inspiration rolls after this. So
it doesn't seem to move at all. Interesting.
It does not move at all. It is definitely embedded deeply into that wall there.
There are very few axes that have ever been made that are more than 20 pounds that are that sized.
It's probably not the weight.
That would be my guess.
You're pushed to talk.
You're pretty strong.
Blake.
Does anyone else want to touch it?
I try to make a slip knot with my rope.
Oh, smart.
Okay. And okay. So you're able to make the knot, for sure.
Yep, and I go ahead and hold the loop out towards Mara. Use your hands to put around the axe.
Yeah. I'll use my mage hand to grab the rope and then position the knot so that it gets on the handle, and then I'll hand the other side of the rope to Ratul because Mara is very weak. She is not high in strength.
Okay.
Yep,
so you
I'm
are
going to. Sorry.
Go ahead. I was just going to say you are definitely able to get the end of the loop over the handle of the axe, and as Ratul kind of gives it a little yank, it cinches down easily right onto the handle.
Yep, and with that now secured, I give the rope a nice pull it taut, and then start to pull.
Okay. So as it does slip down, it cinches itself around the handle as you pull the rope tight, and you start just giving it a little yank, just kind of a tug, expecting it to come out of the wall. And as that does nothing, you kind of give it a firmer tug, and again, nothing happens, and you finally just kind of wrap the rope around your fist, and you start pulling on this rope, and still this axe does not want to come out of the wall, and eventually you start yanking so hard on it, it's finally as the rope snaps.
Maybe it's just not meant to be.
No. I actually question. Since I've been probably watching during this entire thing when the mage hands were going at it and when I was pulling it, has the shadow hand on the wall been doing anything?
It hasn't moved. It looks
The shadow holds in place.
And it looks like it's coming off in, instead of the shadow of an axe, it's this hand. It's this hand is there in place of a regular shadow.
Have I heard anything about something like this ever before? Like a hand, like a spiritual weapon, maybe, or I don't know. Like, what would be holding this axe?
I would say just because of the region, you probably wouldn't have heard anything about this.
Because it looks to like from my perspective, it looks like there's a spirit that possesses this axe.
Gibbs, you might be able to go to chronosworld.live and watch it from there. If not, you can go to the Chronos World Facebook page and watch it on Facebook if you're having an issue with Twitch. Trying to make lots of ways for everyone to be able to hang out with us. Sorry about that, guys. Got to make sure our favorite Gibbs is hanging out with us for the evening. You definitely don't see, or you haven't heard of any effect like this before.
I'm gonna get up closer and investigate this axe and see if there's any arcane sigils on it or anything. Obviously, it's magical, but I'm trying to see if there's like anything that I can recognize from my learning about magic.
Okay.
Would this be an investigation then Arcana, or just Arcana then investigation, or is it just investigation or just Arcana?
Go ahead and roll investigation and Arcana. Thank you so much for that donation, Ali Piano Cat. You are super awesome. Appreciate that. I do have a donation goal, just so everybody knows. It's $215, trying to get to a 1-year subscription to Envato, so I can keep coming at it with all of the awesome design awesomeness. So as soon as we get to that $215, I'll definitely be buying that. So thank you for getting me on the way to that, Ali. You are super awesome. I love you. Thank you so much. That's my girlfriend, so that's where the I love you came from. Just so you guys knew, and it wasn't weird.
Oh, great. Right.
I love everybody that watches our show. Who am I kidding? All right, so your roles, my friends. That investigation. So you don't really see anything too out of the ordinary. What you can see on this axe, that the blade seems to be made of beaten bronze. The haft is wound with snakeskin wrappings, and it definitely does appear to be magical of some kind. There, the shadow being this ominous withered arm, drifting down the wall. As soon as you get closer, well, you can almost feel where you are this chill, like this coldness that seems to be emanating from the axe.
I don't like this. I don't understand how this is not being able to be picked up or pulled or like removed from the wall. My experience with what?
Through magic, if you can't explain it, it's like magic,
Of course it's magic. You.
What? I'm just being obvious, It's fucking stay in
Laura's
place
frustration is boiling to the surface.
No, I'm concerned because my ability to remove magic, the abjuration school, is not something I delve deep enough to be able to try and deal with this.
So what you're saying is you're not learning enough to solve this problem, is what you're saying.
Yes, I
Okay.
would need more resources and more time to learn about how to deal with something like this.
Okay.
Step back, as I
Yeah.
think it says here.
Yeah.
We need to grab the axe before they do. And by looks of it, it will only come out if someone actually grabs it.
Okay.
Too
Tree
bad
guy, go.
or
Don't
expendable.
touch it.
God.
No, not me. Goblin, you go do it.
Well, I mean, look, you're already far gone already. You're gonna be fine. Look.
Gok already has enough stuff tied to him. I wonder how everything would react together. Actually, that'd be an interesting. Wonder what's stronger, that contract you have, or whatever's in that axe.
You know what's a good thing is that we don't find out, and I'm not a guinea pig in this. Okay, so tree guy, look, your mind is already far gone because you talk to trees. I'm pretty sure whatever psychological effects it has, it won't affect you. So go touch it. Touch the
No,
axe.
I am okay. Looks like our friend the orc is gonna do it.
Oh. Okay,
Right.
hang on a second, and I'm gonna walk all the way behind this pillar. Okay, you got it, big guy, do it. If you go into a murder rampage and kill people, their fault. Their fault.
Your confidence is overwhelming. As I just look down at the snakeskin handle, take a breath, make sure my claw root is on tight, and I grab it.
Okay. And as you step closer to this thing within grabbing distance, you instantly feel this wave of coldness wash over you. This overwhelming chill that just kind of races down your spine. And as you reach out and you grab a hold of this weapon, it instantly turns into this feeling of fiery rage, and your mind is instantly overwhelmed with this kill, eat them all. And as you just instantly bring your hand off of this axe, you feel this rage dissipate and leave you once again.
You okay? Were you taken in by bloodlust?
There's something in it, alright. Something that wants blood, wants it bad.
I called it. Called it.
Do we just leave?
Well, then we need the axe, though.
Is that
We
an option?
Wait, what if we destroy the wall around the axe? And we try to, like, drag it? Like, the piece of the wall, I mean?
That would take a very long time, and we'd probably die from poison before we could do that.
Well, can I just fire blast it? You don't think that's gonna, like, break the wall?
Yeah,
Rafiki backs.
that could threaten the structural integrity of this building.
Rafiki backs up.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I kind of don't want the entire complex to fall. That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, Ratul's gonna try something.
Okay.
He steps nearer to the axe, but instead of grabbing it, he just bears through the chill as he raises his left arm over the axe blade itself, take the claw of Groomsh, and nick his flesh.
On the axe?
Yep, I'm gonna let some of my blood drip onto the axe.
Okay. Well, let's see. You don't see an effect. You do see, your blood kind of drops onto the axe, and it does leave It's almost like it leaves a trail of blood, as it kind of goes down the blade of the axe, but then slowly it just kind of like almost like it's absorbed into the bronze until the blood disappears.
Is that like instantaneous, or like how magical weapons don't leave blood stains?
It does seem like it's running off like it would on a magical weapon, but then it does kind of the trail of it. It almost seems like it just kind of disappears into the metal.
Okay. Well, we could.
All right, you stupid thing. You've tasted my blood. You know who I am. Now, when I grab you, you will leave the wall. You want blood, you won't get it here. Don't bite me. And I'm gonna grab the axe handle again.
Roll a charisma check.
Oh! Charisma!
Come on, man. Use your ritual luck to get past
Maybe I should
this.
have done it.
Charisma check or charisma save?
Charisma save.
Okay. Do it.
I will use inspiration to try to get advantage for that.
Okay.
I'll take the 14.
Okay.
Good God, what's with these rolls tonight?
Some good DM rolls, and I got one half decent one.
Well, to be fair, I mean, you do have a +1 to it.
Okay. So, as you grab a hold of this handle of this axe, again, you feel this invasion. You hear this voice inside your mind. Kill them all! Kill them now! And you feel this presence just overwhelm you, and you feel the darkness, and you've felt rage your whole life. This has become a part of who you are. But this is an anger, a hatred on such a level that you've never felt this quivering, overwhelming need to destroy everything around you. And you just grab a hold of it with the other hand, and you start yanking against this thing wedged into the wall, and you just see the corded muscles, and you just see the face of this green behemoth that has become your friend just contort into this mask of rage and hatred, and you see his corded muscles just bunch up across his back and his arms and all across his form as he heaves as heartily as he can against this axe. You finally see him put one foot up against the wall and just pulling with everything. Everything he's got, trying to get this axe out of the wall. And still, this thing is not coming free of the wall. But Ratul, you feel the urge to turn and lay into Mara, who is the closest to you. With every fiber of your being, you want to turn and bury this axe into her as deeply as you can.
Am I able to let go?
Cannot let go.
Okay, this is a terrible idea.
And you wanted me to do it.
Well, yeah, but I'm pretty sure your mind's already gone. You probably would have done better than the orc, because his mind's not gone. Yours is. You do crazy and they cancel each other out.
So
I don't know what you're talking about.
Here? He's just standing there, going insane.
Now he is holding on to this axe, and you see him. He's just, still trying to pull it out of the wall, and you see his muscles still cording. And within your mind, Ratul, you hear, "If you were not the one, release the master. Free him. Destroy everything."
As I just basically use my foot hold on to the wall to basically bend as I just coil up like a spring. I'm going to launch myself at the coffin.
Still holding onto the axe. I'm blowing myself up over here with this fucking Deatheater voice.
If I can let go of the axe to go attack the coffin, I would. But if I can't, I'll be trying to basically. If I can't take the axe to the wall, I'm going to take the wall with the axe.
Okay.
So I make an athletics check to basically try to see if I can just brute force this thing.
Okay. This is going to be a high DC. Go ahead and roll.
Well, considering the fact that I'm basically being forced into this,
Right.
I will rage for this.
If Brasnic were here, he would tell you that this entire chamber is basically being carved from one giant piece of solid stone.
Alright, advantage because I'm basically in auto rage. So let's see what I get.
I should say that you're already raging.
Yeah. This is rage times 3 or 5.
Raging wouldn't work.
Well, I'm just saying for thematic cases, this is basically burning one of my rages involuntarily.
No, this is an effect that's overwhelming you. This is not something that you've triggered.
So would it just be a straight athletics roll then for myself, or would I get the effects of a rage?
I'd say you can roll with advantage. That's fine.
Wow, my rolls are actually... What are these rolls with mine? This is the worst I've rolled with Ratul in a while.
We're going to roll low tonight.
It's true. I got some hot dice tonight, guys. So let's go ahead and...
I mean, I haven't rolled at all. I'm ready for my net 1. Woo.
Is Ratul able to hold on to the, like, pull the wall off?
No, you are still firmly grasping a hold of this axe, and this axe is firmly embedded in this wall.
Can I use my mage hand to try and loosen his grip?
Sure.
It should still be up. This hasn't taken more than a minute. Chen will just try and, like, you know in those movies where someone's like hanging on the side of a cliff or whatever, and someone like tries to pry each individual finger off. That's what it's gonna try and do.
It's a good thing you're not hanging off of a cliff, Ratul. That's all I'm gonna say. Because she would do the same thing.
That's too much time into Ratul.
Yeah. He's become a good servant. You're right.
He's just an asset, obviously.
He's an asset. Oh, right. That's probably the most accurate descriptor. Okay. So you cast this mage hand. You're trying to pry the mighty Ratul's fingers off of this handle, but you are making 0 headway with this. And you see from across the room, Zigzag had kind of wandered a little bit closer. And he kind of stops, and he's kind of sitting up against this pillar, and he pulls his bow out. And you see him kind of point an arrow towards Ratul. And he looks over at you, Rafiki, and he kind of gives you the, like, what's up, should I shoot him kind of look.
No, don't shoot them. I mean, I'm not your boss, so you do as you like, but I wouldn't do it. He's pretty big.
I have an option, but it is a strength save, which is like the worst thing for me to do against him.
But with these rolls going on right now, it'll either work or it's not going to work. You've got a 50-50 chance as far as I can tell.
Strength save with advantage? No, I've got a much lower chance than that.
Mara and Gok, go ahead and roll Arcana. We'll get Gok's first roll of the night in.
Oh, yeah. If you want to see that I roll natural one.
I want to see if it's really going to be a net one. It's not.
No! Not. There you go.
Mara, you know that sometimes in the cases of possession and things of that kind of magical, dominating sort of nature. By the way, I got you, Ratul. Got you. So, it took a charisma check, but I got you. You do know that sometimes, a creature that has been taken over or controlled or possessed in some way can be brought out of it by being injured, possibly giving them a chance to snap out of a magical control. Push to talk.
Don't want to do a lot of damage to him, so I'm 10 feet away from him. Can I non-lethally attack him with my whip?
With your mage whip? It's literally made out of electricity.
Yeah, so that's a no, right?
Unless you're thinking of tasing him very lightly.
Can I just, non-lethally fireball this guy? Is that...
Lasers aren't lethal.
I just, tase this guy a lot until he goes unconscious.
I mean, you could tase him if you want to.
The thing is, I had an option. It's just it requires a strength save, which is his best thing.
I mean, what if I shot Ratul in the shins with my eldritch? That would count as none.
I say you should shoot him.
I mean, they're actually kneecap.
Yeah, I think you should just go for it there, boss. I mean, to be honest, I've been waiting for you to just blast this guy for a while now. I feel like you can totally take him into fights and stuff over here.
I'm good. After hearing that, I'm going to step back 10 feet.
Fireball the entire area. Jesus. What?
I know, but just in case I don't want to be right next. I want to leave.
Okay, look, I'm going to just shoot him in his kneecaps.
Yeah, a lot, some folks, they got, the demons on their one shoulders, and they giving them, advices over here, and then they got, some angels or some kind of things on their other shoulders, and they, giving them advices over here and stuff, see, me and the boss, I'm his little guy on the shoulder, I'm, giving him all the best advices and stuff, and then on the other guy on the other shoulder, I mean, that's just little guy. So basically, you're talking, my advice, and then little Gok's advice, and that's basically his parameters here.
Okay, we gotta figure out some new parameters later.
Am I right?
Okay. Anyway, wait, I should do the other one. Jeez.
You can only fire one if you want.
Oh.
That's true. And you definitely hit
Both of those hit, though.
Fine.
So go ahead and roll the damage on that first one.
Okay.
Okay. So as this magical energy kind of washes over you, Ratul, you suddenly feel this moment of clarity through the pain. Go ahead and roll another charisma check.
Okay. About that other blast? Could I do that too? Maybe?
You could try and roll it with inspiration if you want.
Oh, you're talking about Ratul, right? Roll. Yeah.
I'll burn an inspiration, might as well.
So you get
Okay, just trying to remember. I have a total of 7 when I started this session, right? For your calculations.
Yeah, but you had used 1, so you had 6, and then you just used 1, so you have 5 right now.
All right, and this will be number 3 of this session, so I'm down to 4.
You had used 1 previously, but you had earned 7 total through donations, mostly from Gok.
Oh.
She's awesome.
Right.
So that is number 3 used. So you do have 4 inspirations left, and I have a little sheet here that I'm keeping track with.
Oh, okay. Apparently the axe doesn't want to let me go.
Wow, worst use of inspiration ever. Ouch.
I kind of thought I would roll the first natural one of the game. The way to steal my son.
Are you happy, man? You got me finally possessed, and it's apparently so good I'm not being able to break free for once.
Man,
Keep in
I
mind
thought
that this was
shooting you in the
Gok's
shins would work.
This was all Gok's idea. Let's just keep that in mind.
Alright, smack
It
me with
wasn't
the
my
next.
idea to grab from the wall. I backed away immediately.
Smack me with the other Eldritch Blast, mate.
So as Ratul kind of tenses himself, you see him just kind of get more angry and more furious as the knotted muscles doubled down on the hugeness.
Okay, could I fire another shot, not counting the 21?
You did fire the second shot, though.
Go ahead and roll the damage on
So
the
then
second one.
I roll. Okay, I roll damage on the second one.
Oof, 16
Okay.
points of damage to the big monster so far.
Well, he's raging.
Oh.
So it's halved.
Am I considered raging?
I don't think on the damage
Actually-
point I would. I would say for the strength feats that would make sense, but
Well, that probably hurts the less.
Yep. So let's see if round number 2 of charisma saves can do. You're going to make me burn all my inspiration this early in the game, aren't you?
you don't have to.
He says, probably smiling. I haven't looked at his.
I know he's grinning like a freaking loon.
Yeah. I see it right
With-
now.
Luck,
Burning out-
get through
burning
time.
out inspiration.
Use them all!
Oh, okay, that was double click. Jesus Christ!
7 and a 10.
Wow, that is like 3 sevens nearly in a
Yeah.
row. Jesus.
I'm gonna go up to him, seeing as he's struggling. I'm gonna try something.
Okay.
I mean, is he struggling from the blood loss, or is he struggling from just the
Look at the roll 20. It's rolling nothing below. It's rolling like nothing. Everything below 10. Am I using a D10 die here?
Maybe.
I'm gonna touch Ratul and cast Guillotine.
Okay. Go
As
ahead.
it will restrain him and it will remove his. It will like bind him, so he will not be touching the axe anymore.
Okay. Roll a strength saving throw.
It's the best I can do here. Yep, nothing I can do. That
Now
passed.
he rolls high.
Now he
Yeah.
rolls high.
Well, it's not high. That's 10.
Oh yeah. The roll itself wasn't high, he's just amazingly strong. Man. Your dice are betraying you tonight, sir.
Can I get a reset? This
Go-
is rather low on all the rolls tonight. This is
Oh.
ridiculous.
Just
Don't you?
refresh your screen, that might help.
Can I use an inspiration for this actually to make him re-roll? I mean, what? I'm just actually have to think about the math here. What? He gets +7. He
Well-
need to roll 8 or lower.
I think for the inspiration it has to be your rolls. I know I played a little loose with that in the past. I don't know.
That's fine. I mean, the percentage likelihood's pretty low anyway, so. Yeah, I don't know what to
Okay.
do here. You know what? Oh, then the 2. Never mind.
Okay. Well, we are 2 minutes away from 8 o'clock, so I'm going to take that 8 o'clock break real quick while you guys puzzle this out and see if perhaps we can find a way to
Oh,
free Ratul from this axe and get to the actual puzzle, because we haven't even started trying to crack that yet. So,
okay. So I realized I could have done something non-lethally besides shooting Ratul twice in the shins. But I mean, it wouldn't probably break it. But I could have tried to command him to do something else.
thanks, Lee. I appreciate that. Just got a compliment on the new design. I had to say so. All right, so Gok, let's go ahead and get to that idea here in 2 and 2. We're going to take a quick potty break for anyone that needs that. Go ahead and grab drinks or anything like that. Load a bowl if you like to do that green thing. And we will see everybody here in just a couple of minutes. You guys can see my awesome new screen transitions. If these monkeys are too loud, let me know. I'm hoping that they aren't during the transition, but if they are, it's going to be too much, and I'll just have to switch everything. So we'll see. Anyway, we'll see you in 2 and 2. Be right back. stuck to a cursed axe. Which, honestly, it's probably a good thing that this giant green orc cannot pull this axe out of the wall at the moment. Because this would be a very different scenario. So, what are we thinking here?
I mean, what if we just knock him unconscious?
And have him die to the poison?
I mean, if he goes unconscious, he might drop the axe, then I could heal him, and he won't die to the poison.
Everyone just runs over and just starts beating on Ratul. This is like gangland initiation, bro.
I really don't want to keep burning my spell slots.
Okay. So you guys
we just
see...
leave the big orc here?
You guys see this frogman kind of watching this whole thing play out. And he kind of comes over and he gets next to you, Ratul, and as he kind of comes closer, naturally in your rage, you kind of kick out at him. He kind of skitters back out of the way, and you see him pull out an arrow, and he doesn't drag it across his skin. He just kind of pulls it out carefully out of his quiver, and he just kind of darts in and just sticks you with it for 1 point of damage. Go ahead and roll a charisma check.
Oh, that's smart.
Kill me with 1,000 cuts if I keep failing my saves.
You'll eventually get it to him.
14.
All right. You start to feel your mind clearing, and then suddenly, like this redness starts to come over you again. And as you kind of start shaking, you start raging again. He kind of comes in and just stabs you right in underneath your palm, right in your wrist. Go ahead and roll another charisma check.
Do you still have your D10 that you can roll?
And as this...
D10?
Yes, he does have a D10 that he can roll at any time for any purpose.
I completely forgot about the D10.
So as he comes in and he just kind of nimbly dodges away from one of your backhand swings, and he just kind of sticks you right in the wrist, like right underneath your palm. And as he does so, you just kind of... and just kind of like your hand just on instinct just kind of leaps off of it as you shake it from the sting of this. And as you kind of take a step back and away from this axe, you see him just kind of stand up a little bit, and he just kind of looks at you, and you see this small little sly smile kind of creep across his frog-like face as he just kind of like, yeah. And you find yourself free of this axe. And as this extra hate that had overwhelmed you kind of fades away, you still kind of feel the echoing of this voice inside your mind. And finally, that too dies away. And you can finally feel yourself and breathe.
So we all agree we don't touch the axe.
I think we should just leave.
Yeah. No, I think we should leave too. Hey, are you okay? Man, I know I shot you in the shins like twice. I'm trying to snap you out of it. You're going a bit crazy. Yeah. No, I think we should leave too. Hey, are you okay? Man, I know I shot you in the shins like twice.
Someone got the volume on? Let me. One second. That was me. Haha. Background loop, awesome. Okay. So, how's Ratul feeling about this situation?
Not touching the axe.
We should we'll have to like move that block back into place somehow. But we need to seal this place up. It is. I don't like this place. It feels all wrong.
What was your first clue, Mara? The axe on the wall that possessed your friends?
It's got like a
Yeah.
bloody handprint coming off of its shadows, and she says the place feels all wrong.
Yeah, I know. It feels very dangerous right now.
Maybe if we can get to some safety, we can come back here. But we still have to worry about this. I'm gonna point to the incoming poison. I'm assuming because we opened the seal, it wasn't as much poison in here. I'm sure it's like come in and like it's started to coagulate in this room, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she'll point out, I was like, we still have to worry about the poison. We can come back here later.
Here's a funny idea. What if we open the tomb? If something comes out, we kill it, and maybe that'll release the magic of the axe.
You mean if we can kill it?
You seem capable.
I mean, I would have accepted that sooner, but I just shot one of our party members in the shins like twice. I'm pretty
Also-
sure he's not up for this.
Also, if the people here entombed it, might not be killable. There are plenty of entities that just keep rising from the dead over and over again.
That is true. I'm gonna grab Ratul and give him 10 hit points in my lay of hands.
Thank you.
You know, honestly, boss, I'm kind of surprised he doesn't just kind of backhand you for that. You know what I mean? Like, just saying, it's kind of a bold move just to Eldritch Blast him like that.
I can hear you, Shrimp.
He just kind of gets his eyes wide, just looks around a little bit. Yeah, so, you know, there's this tomb over here that we need to open, I think.
I think maybe we should.
Are you serious? How does everybody else feel about this?
I don't want to.
Okay.
You don't want to see what's in there, boss?
I mean, I would have felt better, but again, I shot one of our guys in the shin twice. Is he feeling up to it?
Well, he just got healed from the Catman's over there.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
Two
Greg,
are hesitant. One of us is forward. And I'm
One-
at Brasnic. One of us doesn't seem to care. What do you think? Or two?
Well, with my vote as a full party member, I think that we should definitely just get right on in Des, and we should just see what this thing is, and we should just get right after it and just take it out. Because, you know, we just take out everything we comes across, you know, because we just bad like that. You know what I mean?
Ratul, any thoughts?
Sorry, my mind blinked for a moment. What's the question?
Do we open this tomb and see what's inside, or do we move on and seal it up?
No, I just shake my head. When I was holding that axe, it wanted its master. It wanted me to open it. You're right. It may be wrong, but I don't think the one here is actually dead.
They don't. Yeah, generally you don't entomb something like this that you hate and is described as evil, unless you can't kill it.
well, maybe the axe won't want its master if its master is finally dead. Unless you guys want to leave it here. Gryback was telling me these weapons were really important.
I mean, it's been here for who knows how long. We can seal it up again and we can always come back later when we're not dealing with poison and we're a little stronger.
You think the poison is just gonna go away?
Maybe. If we knew what to expect, we could at least have anti-poison or anti-venom with us to prevent us from feeling the effects of it.
So you want to leave the shrine itself? And mission accomplished?
The stream, Kitty.
I think we need to come back stronger. And I'm worried at this point as we've spent a lot of time here. I'm worried that we'll succumb to the poison faster if we fight whatever's in here, even if we win. Even if we could win.
Do you ever think if we leave without the axe and we go back to the ancient crab, he's gonna be like, oh yes, now go down another hallway?
I mean, there was a couple other ways to go from that room that the crab was in.
Oh, I know. I was just saying, do you think he really wants to, he's just gonna let's go past, like, oh yes, I allowed you to that room, you did nothing, now go to another one.
But I mean, like, what if we just like gets lost in this whole place over here, and then like them other guys come in here while we off in some other pots.
It's a risk either way. I don't like the concept of fighting something that I know is killable.
Yeah, but if they can take these things out and they get the axe and they have the hot seekers, then that's not good. It's got to be bad.
That is bad, but
I wish there was a tree here.
So I mean, like, what did it do to you over there, Red Tools? I mean, you look like you was just having kind of a moments with that thing. It's like it was all stuck to the handles and stuff. Like, kind of looked like he was going through something.
It was rage. Unbridled, unfocused. Only for the sake of killing it was existing. I was consumed for a moment.
well, if we are gonna fight whatever's in here, which I'm coming around to knowing that we probably don't have as much time as I was hoping for, either way. Someone has to open it, and everyone has to fire into it. Their magic, their arrows, their attack into immediately, as we don't know what's in here, and doing as much damage as we can to it as fast as possible is the most important.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna make this undead creature tea.
I mean, I could go for some tea right about now. I'm just saying.
Okay, I guess we can try it. There's 7 of us. We could. And then somehow we'll find a way to get that axe into the haversack. We have to. Cannot leave it here.
Agreed.
I mean, can't we just let the big guys use it? Like, he seems like he'd be pretty good with an axe.
Cursed items should be avoided.
So is it like one of them sentient items and stuff? What did it say to you? Did it say anything? Like, I mean, did it give you any like hints or secrets to what's going on around here? Did it say how to free this guys? Ratul, you can hear me, right? I mean, it didn't like scramble your mind or nothing, did it?
No, just just for gathering my thoughts. That's all. Was overwhelmed, so my mind's a bit scrambled.
I wonder if we could just bust this thing open or something.
I don't think we can just bust it open. It's made of solid stone.
There's a lid here. If there's a lid, it can be opened.
Those are wise words. So y'all want to just push on the lid the same direction?
I'll look around to see if anyone has a better idea.
I can't think of anything.
I can't think of anything.
So, yes? No?
So you guys are going to try and shove against the side of this thing?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and put your tokens where you're going to try and make this attempt. As Gok lines up on the wrong side and pushes against you guys.
Yeah,
Smack.
exactly.
Wood hit, no, stone hits him in the head.
Not exactly. Yeah, well, I'll try to help.
I have a very low strength, so I don't think I can help here. And I'm going to prepare to cast a spell into once the lid if the lid comes off. I'm going to prepare to cast a spell directly into it immediately.
Okay. Alright. So as you guys start to strain against this thing, Gok and Zigzag basically sharing a space due to their size. You guys find that this stone lid seems to be nigh immovable.
Well, that was my idea.
Now can we leave then?
Yeah, I would. No, time to go.
Does anybody want to try and study this thing any further?
I'll investigate it.
Okay.
That's alright. Oh, I'll use the inspiration. I have a lot of them.
Okay. I feel like Brasnic would also investigate here. But I'm not going to use one of his. Well. As you guys do start looking around, Brasnic kind of making his way around sarcophagus. As he kind of gets around to the bottom of this thing, he kind of stops, and he just kind of looks quizzically at the base of this thing, and he says, "Well, these here are a bunch of buttons." And you see him kind of pointing at these. It's like face clips at the foot of this huge sarcophagus. And it looks like they can be depressed into, they're like made of stone and they fit perfectly inside their little niche, but it looks like they can be depressed into the stone itself.
What were the numbers you gave us earlier?
Which numbers?
You said that there was numbers on this, there were some numbers on the top, right? Mm-hmm. There's like 3 sets of numbers.
Mm-hmm. And as you kind of bring this back up, and you kind of raise your hand, And as the driftgoat kind of floats back over to the top of sarcophagus and it kind of floats across these glyphs, you feel the understanding in your mind of the numbers corresponding to the date of death for Tlokos Popolikos was 5439.
And there's 3 buttons.
You see 11 face glyphs corresponding, and it looks like from 0 through 10.
Should we put his death like in as a code?
I mean, that'd be my guess.
Brasnic,
I'm trying to think of a
do your
path.
job.
I still think we all prepare to attack whatever is in there once someone pressed it.
Sure. Yeah, I'm all for that.
Okay.
Gok,
So that's-
unless Gok, you want, if we all stand back, both of us could cast Fireball into it as it opens.
I would be fine doing that. Yeah, that seems pretty good.
Alright, whoever puts a code in, please run fast.
Okay, I'm already in position. No, I need.
Need for
Okay, I'm already in position.
I'm gonna point out this is the square where I'm thinking about doing it. So stand 20 feet away from there. Actually, we could do here.
Well, the buttons are where Brasnic is, at the foot of this tomb.
Let's see, is that 20 feet? Oh, he would be within the sphere.
Hey, big guy, come up here.
Is Fireball 20 feet or 30 feet?
I think it's 30.
Oh, then we all need to stand way, way back.
You're gonna have to shoot it like over here.
Can you
Oh, yeah.
get far back enough?
No, we. Yeah, I think we can't do Fireball. Never mind. Yeah, good work.
Yeah.
Brasnic.
At Brasnic, we're gonna fry.
So he puts
Needs
the
to
code
move
in
a
and-
couple of feet to the left or right. That'll be fine.
Yeah, he'll dash away to the corner once he presses all those buttons.
We're gonna see one nimble dwarf.
We'll wait for him to get out of the way, and then we'll double cast.
Well, I mean, you can push buttons with a mage hand.
Do it with a mage hand. Because, like, Brasnic, could you attempt to press the button with your mage hand? I know you can get about 30 feet away with mage hand. Just pull. Is it 30 or 15? It's 30. Okay. Get as far away as you can from those buttons and use your mage hand to use it, and we'll blow up whatever comes out if it opens.
You guys are so scared right now.
We just saw our friend get possessed by an axe. We don't know what this thing will.
Alright, so what am I pressing into this thing? Brasnic says.
5, 4, 3, 9.
Okay. So as you say the numbers, Brasnic counts out, and you see the mage hand press the first. And as the stone slides in, and then presses the 4, presses the 3, and then as he presses the 9, you hear the slipe of the stone going into the depression, and suddenly you see this sigil on the top of the tomb spark with arcane energy as energy just starts leaping off of the top of this tomb, and you hear this as the whole chamber starts to shake and rumble as you start to see pebbles. See, the sound effects that I downloaded would have been awesome right now. Anyway, you hear pebbles start to fall from the ceiling as cracks start to run through the entirety of this chamber as this rumbling continues, and you see the top of the sarcophagus start to slowly slide from its seat, and you hear the continued of stone sliding on stone, and instantly, as the seal is cracked on this tomb, you hear this wailing, this unearthly cacophony of collective souls screaming in torment and despair emanating from inside of the sarcophagus. And you see this energy and these as this arcane energy starts sparking off of it, you see tendrils suddenly leap out and strike at each one of you, every single person that is in this chamber, striking you right dead in the chest, and you feel your body kind of arc backwards from this energy. I need everybody to make a roll for me.
What kind of roll?
Let's see. Of course it didn't do it for me. 1 second.
This is why I didn't want to touch it.
How was I supposed to know?
So what happened is it triggered a glyph of warning. So do I just get to decide? Because it doesn't say.
Here, I'm looking up glyph of warding for you.
Warding, yeah, what it is.
Well, I'm looking it up too, but
Glyph of warding, let's see. Surface or object is moved. This is blah, 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 blah.
I'm looking up the wrong thing. I'm sorry.
Dexterity for explosive, for a spell glyph.
No, I need to be looking up the spell that it was triggered when you posted it. So it is going to be a wisdom saving throw. Everybody go ahead and roll a wisdom saving throw.
At least it wasn't explosive. The explosive one probably been good. We were far enough away from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, perspective.
Ouch.
Oh,
Sorry, that was the wrong.
Who is cursed in here?
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna use an inspiration.
No,
Okay,
using
well, I
inspiration
hit
here too.
I got an 18. I've realized it's a check instead of a roll.
I used my D10. It's a total of 19.
Ah, that's okay. Wow,
I'll take that.
we all probably passed.
Gibbs, you just saved everybody in the party. You just literally saved everybody in the party right there, Gibbs.
Well, I accidentally did a check, so I didn't do the saving throw.
It's true.
Now we
So,
can burn here to high hell.
Brasnic still needs to roll. He's good on the first roll. Okay. So as this energy kind of lands into your chest, you just suddenly hear this whispering in your mind. And it's like this language you don't understand except for Rafiki, and you hear basically the voice of this creature promising you death and promising you that it is going to come for you soon and destroy you. And then you are able to kind of steel yourselves, all of you are able to kind of steel yourselves against this magic, and you are able to kind of put up your mental defenses and ward off this curse before it can take hold.
That's good. Did the crypt open? Like, did this tomb like open at all, or is it?
It does crack, so it's open about an inch.
Oh, he got to make us
Definitely
move.
heavier than 10. This is definitely heavier than 20 pounds.
I mean, we've gone this far. Big guy, want to push the lid off?
I move up, and I get ready to push the lid off.
Okay. What's your strength?
18.
Okay. You're gonna start pushing against it?
Yep.
Okay. As you're pushing against it, struggling with all of your might, it just seems like it's just a little bit too heavy for you to get by yourself.
Alright, Rafiki's got to help out.
Right when you finish.
Huh?
I tell them, run away once it's off.
Oh,
Okay.
don't worry, I will.
Okay. So the two of you put your strength up against this mighty slab of stone, and as you start straining against it, again, you hear the grinding of stone on stone as this gigantic lid to this ancient sarcophagus finally gets shoved to the edge, and the weight of it just slams down to the stone of the chamber, rumbling the air around you.
You got to be one away.
Calm down, guys. Hold on.
One to the north, which is to our left. Otherwise, the thing will hit you.
So before you guys run, hold on. Calm down. Before you guys run, you see inside of this thing a corpse. And as you guys start to turn and flee, you immediately you're looking at it as you're turning to dash across the room, and you see that this corpse is kind of laid out in this ancient Mesoamerican finery, and obviously much of the cloth has rotted to ruin. The feathers have become basically just the centerpiece left of the feather. Most of the filament part has long since disappeared. You see gold. You see a mask on this corpse made of solid gold with jade inlay. You see a necklace resting upon its chest. Its hands are clasped over its midsection, and you see a bracelet on one wrist, and you see two rings, one upon each of its hands. Lower in this coffin, you can see urns that look like they might be filled with some sort of important treasures to the ancient Mesoamerican people. And as you first start to run away, you see this corpse does nothing.
I don't trust it. Just blow it up.
I told you it was
blow it
fine.
up.
Oh, but it had that massive explosion. What was that for then?
It's the ceiling.
The whole room doesn't make any goddamn sense.
How high is the ceiling?
This chamber is going to be
What's prep?
20 feet high.
Ooh, okay.
It's either 20 feet or 40 feet. 40 feet.
It's a pretty big difference.
Let me see.
I still don't trust if the axe was telling you to open it up, a dead body can appear to be a dead body.
This one's going to be 20 feet high.
Just we've asked before we did this, but this is pretty sturdy. Do I cast it? I told Gok to also cast it. What's Gok thinking? In this half second of they've opened it.
Okay.
Probably shoot the face with Eldritch Blast first. See if it moves.
You're gonna blast it in the coffin?
I'm gonna blast him.
Okay.
Probably blast. I go and blast. Come on.
Roll.
How to cast fireball if it moves at all.
Okay.
You get 2.
11 works.
I would say the 11 is not going to quite get in the coffin. From your angle, because this thing is 10 feet tall. The bottom section was 10 feet tall, and then the top section was also 10 feet tall. So this is huge slab of wood.
I'm a pretty small guy.
Yeah, you'd probably have to climb up on top of this thing.
Yeah. Well, I kind of just shot it. It probably just hit a corner of the coffin or something, but not.
You get another shot. I'll just get two shots with.
Oh, that's true. I'll see what the second shot is. Nah, I'm pretty sure that didn't do it. So.
Oh, wait, no. It's 4 foot.
Yeah.
It's 4 foot thick. It's 20 feet long and 10 feet wide. But it's also sitting on 6 huge blocks of dolomite. So it's probably about 6 feet high. Just the bottom section. And then there was another 4 foot piece that was the lid, and that's what got pushed off.
Is Ratul still standing there?
I would have ran back with Rafiki.
Okay. You guys can move your tokens now wherever you wanted. I just wanted to...
Okay.
When I first opened.
Absolutely cast fireball. I really don't trust this.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and cast it right at whatever I can see into this. If I can see anything into or right above it, and so it'll just be far enough away from most of us to get everyone outside of its area. I can't pull fireball from the side thing though.
Oh, you can. That's odd.
Better not damage all those shinies he's wearing.
It's fine. It just likes things that are explode. Like fireball in the wording of it doesn't destroy.
Yeah, fireball destroys treasure. Absolutely.
The idea of why things that are worn and not uncarried aren't affected by a lot of spells has to do with how magic works in a lot of settings. To do with like intention of what you're trying to do affects how powerful a spell is. The idea that you're casting a fireball is you're using the weave to create this fire in this location. People's like own attachment to the weave and physical like attunement to it will prevent personal stuff from being affected in the same way. That's the explanation, at least that I've like go with those goofy rules. But it makes sense not to do that. That's kind of a very specific understanding.
I mean, as far as like, like for the stuff you're wearing, sure, like I can allow for that just for game mechanics, because I'm not trying to burn off your armor every time you get hit by a flame blast, you know what I mean? So
I can do something else. It might just be better if we've done something else. It's just...
Just like with the light radius on a torch, you know. I want torches to actually reflect how light works on a torch.
Right. Let me see something. Yeah, I guess instead of doing the fireball, because it's a little different than what I was expecting. I would have just used a bolt.
Okay, what are you trying to lash with your whip here?
Oh, the question: could I see into this sarcophagus?
It's 6 feet, about 6 feet high.
Okay, Mara could not see that. She's not that tall. Okay, so I mean, the whole point of us being a fireball, I might as well cast a fireball because I did all this stuff for it, and I already rolled the damage for it. If we blow
do
up, I guess whatever items in there we'll lose. But it's not like treasure's like the be all end all of the game. I hope no one minds if I blew up treasure. I'm not trying to.
I feel like right now Brasnic would really be arguing against the use of the fireball and blowing up treasure, and he would really be trying hard to talk you out of this plan of attack here. That is 100% on point for Brasnic, I feel.
But the whole concept of me, like everyone agreed to the fireball initially, and this was all going on, and like that. Like,
if Brasnic was here, he never would have agreed to that. I'm just throwing that out there. There's no way that he would have agreed to fireballing the treasure. I'm gonna text him. I'm gonna text him and ask him. Do you agree with fireballing the treasure? No.
No, the idea wasn't that we all agreed to fireball what it was if we're in there. We didn't know there was treasure or not. Mara can't even see the treasure, so she's not making this decision based upon that.
Well, you can definitely have it ready if you want to, but right now nothing is moved within this.
I know, but I had prepped the spell for when the lid came off and Ratul and Rafiki were out of the way.
Okay.
I think the spell already got sent.
It did already get sent, so...
Okay, so there's a fireball.
So I think I blew up a whole bunch of treasure. I'm sorry, guys. That was my bad. Let's see if there's structural damage. I may have just had rocks falling off on all of us and everyone dies. This is my bad.
So... that just got dropped. And Brasnic's kind of like, maybe we shouldn't... What is this thing?
Well, there goes all the scrolls you might have gotten from him.
Gets unleashed.
Oh well. That was all on me, guys.
Only Ratul and I saw what was actually in there.
Yeah, Mara just picked a point above it, and it was like, I'm casting it. You see this little red dot, like little red bead, float through the air, center right above it, and then just expand into this fiery burst.
It just annihilates all of the things. Okay, so what was I just going to open up here? Oh, I know what I was going to do. So, in some places, the ceiling isn't structurally sound. As a result, some spells might have disastrous effects. A spell like Fireball, an explosion, has a 25% chance to cause a ceiling collapse. So, let's go ahead and roll a 1d1.
You're just trying to hit that 100, aren't you?
Which end was I having the 25% on, though? So this fireball does go off, and it's... and then you feel the whole chamber just start shaking and rumbling, and more pebbles start falling, and the cracks kind of deepen further around this entirely stone chamber. But because it is entirely made of one giant piece of stone that was carved out, the ceiling does not collapse upon you. Nuke the loots, he says. So you do see the flames erupt around the center of this thing. Everybody go ahead and roll perception checks. Because this is an interesting situation here. Oh, Ratul just sees
Oh,
things.
I roll good.
Now you want to roll good.
Hey, natural one.
R was too focused on casting the spell.
She was.
I also feel like she just now realizes that she just blew up a bunch of ancient scrolls of forbidden magics that have probably been lost to time.
No, it was more she was focused on the whole room shaking. Is like, did I just miscalculate and almost get us all killed by crushing rocks?
Okay. So. Well, okay. So, Ratul and Rafiki, since you guys were kind of already had the eye on this thing, as this fireball just explodes in and around this thing, you see the bones, the jars, everything in there just get smashed across the inside of this sarcophagus, this giant stone tomb. You see all of the items. It was kind of like a skeleton, most of a skeleton that was still there, but even some of the bone had deteriorated and fallen away. It was basically like a rib cage, an arm and a hand from the other arm, and then the skull underneath this golden mask. And you see all this bone just instantly turned, just incinerated, except for this skull that is protected by this mask. And as all of this debris kind of is thrown around this giant stone sarcophagus, you see that the pendant, the rings go flying. You see those braces that are on the forearms kind of go flying. You see this mask kind of go flying backwards and up and off of this skull, what's left of this ruined skull. And as this fire kind of dissipates, you see, lingering, flickering flames around it, the stone itself catching on fire from this magical flame, and then quickly going out, obviously, as these flames are sputtering out and dying from this massive explosion. You suddenly see this purplish energy just and then start swirling around what's left of this ruined skull, and instantly you see this thing lift up off of the ground, and you see this skull start floating up into the air, and you see this purple energy flying all around the form of this, what's left of this bone skull. And as it rises up into the air, it starts speaking in this terrible ancient language. Marin Rafiki, you understand the words that are spoken. Where's the speech? As it rises up, and you hear these ancient words, kind of whispered. And you see all of what's left of this dust from his bones instantly starts swirling up and swirling around him, and you see it starts knitting all of these bones back together, and you see the skeleton starting to rebuild itself. Everybody grab your tokens and roll initiative.
Congratulations, you gave him the worst alarm clock in the universe.
How did I not blow him up? Oh!
Oh, you definitely blew him up, and now he's pissed because of it.
I don't think you would be happy either way. This guy obviously super evil.
I mean, yeah. At the same time, can I just comment? I love that the skull's floating.
And
You know,
glowy.
It's glowy and floaty.
We can all thank Gibbs for that. because of the donations. Gibbs, you are super awesome. You have saved these guys, and you have also put them in a world of torment and pain. And that is going to be exactly where we pick it up next week with this fight that we have before us with Tortus Popolicus. You guys have figured out the mystery, you figured out the puzzle, and unlocking it was only the first step, my friends. Because next week we deal with the decisions that were made.
Yes, wake him with a fireball and not letting him get to his favorite axe.
And I am excited for what is about to happen. Amara's burned through a lot of spells right now.
I've only burned through 2 spells. I just burned through all my portents.
On that note, thank you so much for everybody that is hanging out with us and watching this week. Extra special thanks to everyone that has subbed to us. That would be Gibbs and Witchy Lee. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for your support of the channel. I can't appreciate you enough for that. You, as Lee noticed in chat, you guys definitely do have that sub tier 1 emote that was a lock for you. So enjoy that. That is the Honorable Scoundrel emote. So have fun with that. Enjoy messing around with the old Honorable Scoundrel. Thanks again for subbing. Thank you so much for the donations and the bits. Gibbs, again, you're a rock star. I can't appreciate you enough for those bits. Thank you so much to Alley Cat for the donation, getting us started on our way to that goal that we have there, trying to get that 1 year subscription to Envato. That's going to be super cool. I can keep coming at it with the awesome design stuff. I'm going to be working on a little logo teaser that a little logo sting that I can use for the beginning of videos. Thank you for the follow, Scott. You're awesome. Appreciate that. Definitely going to be using a lot of cool design stuff coming up. I got a little credits thing I'm going to be working on this week, so I can kind of automate some of this thank you stuff. You guys are going to be able to see your names pop up, all of my new followers, all of my new subs, all of anyone that supports the stream in any way whatsoever. Definitely going to get you guys noticed for hanging out with us, and can't appreciate you guys enough. And some other cool stuff too. I got a surprise in store for my players here that I think that they're really going to like. And, we'll see. I'm going to have a lot of fun with what's coming up here. Again, thanks to everybody that hung out with us. Got a new format, got this new overlay, kind of trying to take the quality of the production here up a notch and seeing what we could do with that. So, yeah, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Come back and see us again as we build this thing. And we'll make it bigger and better every single week. Have a great one, guys. Come see us again. Bye.